What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. Okay, I purposely chose not to rewatch Joss Whedon's Justice League cut prior to this because I wanted to come into watching Zack Snyder's Justice League fresh, as if this was the 2017 movie instead of that crapola one. I did watch the Joss Whedon version when it first came out in theaters, so I still have memories of that in the back of my mind the whole time, of course. So here's what I'm gonna do, okay? I'm gonna start by telling you what I think of Zack Snyder's Justice League overall, and then after the synopsis, I'm gonna break down the extra new scenes for you and my thoughts on them as well. And then finally, I will share with you my Joss Whedon versus Zack Snyder comparison opinion. Okay, we have a deal, right? Zack Snyder's Justice League is incredible. It felt like I was watching a crime drama miniseries. Zack Snyder gave it more substance, which helped us care deeply about the characters and understand where they're coming from. The arcs for The Flash and Cyborg in particular, since those two have not had their solo movies yet, are designed to bring forth everything that's human and powerful about them. The visual effects are spectacular. Composer Junkie XL's music is soul-stirring, beautifully shot. So many great cinematic moments. I would even go so far as to say that Zack Snyder has crafted the Lawrence of Arabia of superhero movies. Story by Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder, scripted by Chris Terrio and directed by Zack Snyder. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, determined to ensure Superman's ultimate sacrifice was not in vain, Bruce Wayne aligns forces with Diana Prince with plans to recruit a team of metahumans to protect the world from an approaching threat of catastrophic proportions. The task proves to be more difficult than Bruce imagined, as each of the recruits must face the demons of their own past to transcend that which has held them back, allowing them to come together, finally forming an unprecedented League for Heroes. Now united, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash may be too late to save the planet from Steppenwolf, Desaad, and Darkseid and their dreadful intentions. Starring Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, Willem Dafoe, Jesse Eisenberg, Jeremy Irons, Diane Lane, Connie Nielsen, and J.K. Simmons. So many extra scenes, I don't know where to begin. Well, Green Lantern, you noticed him in the trailer, right? In this movie, he's got a brief but memorable yet heartbreaking action scene. Those of you hardcore GL fan would probably know more than I do about this particular Green Lantern that's basically part of the past. I really like the inclusion of Green Lantern because obviously Zack Snyder wants to tease us of the possibility of expanding DCEU. By the end of this film, Snyder is telling us that we can take the characters anywhere and we can tackle this angle or this specific arc. This movie basically suggests potential sequels or potential spin-offs. The question now is whether or not WB would greenlight them, but Zack is showing all of us its possibilities. Steppenwolf is more of a well-rounded personality this time around. There's more clarity as to what his motivations are, which include his debt and allegiance to Darkseid. Speaking of whom, even though Steppenwolf still takes most of the screen time, but whenever Darkseid shows up, He makes his presence known and his intimidating destruction on full display. Zack Snyder's Justice League also generously tells you more about the mother boxes, which is imperative. Because listen, Marvel Cinematic Universe had their solo movies to dive deep into each of the Infinity Stones, whereas DCEU never had that opportunity. DCEU didn't have that luxury, but thankfully this is a 4-hour film, which means more than enough time to give you Mother Box's 101 lesson. And it is especially helpful for the fans who may not have grown up reading DC Comics. And I think Snyder and Terrio did a fantastic job at accomplishing that. The extra scenes involving the Flash and Cyborg give the characters more prominence, and it's done in such a way that makes you feel for their struggles, despite the Flash still being more or less the comic relief. As for the scene involving Jared Leto's Joker and Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke, it's not as satisfying as you would expect. But that goes to what I said earlier about Zack Snyder giving the world permission to go ahead and expand DCEU with these characters. It's really good to see Jared Leto back in that role. I mean, he was painfully underused in Suicide Squad. So even for just a few minutes, Jared Leto here makes a much more significant impact than he did in 2016. You know me, I'm a Superman fan, and holy smokes, that black suit looks hella good on Henry Cavill. Can I get an amen? If you were not a Superman fan prior to this, trust me, Zack Snyder's Justice League will make a believer out of you. You will convert into rah-rah Team Superman by the end of it, because he is just magnificent and colossal in his fight against Steppenwolf. I really appreciate Ben Affleck's performance as well. It's all in the writing, of course, but Ben effortlessly expresses Batman's constant wrestle with his insistence on the plan and his awareness of the plan's unintended consequences that weigh heavy on him. Okay, I could go on and on and on, but let's wrap up with the whole Joss Whedon versus Zack Snyder. Look, Joss Whedon, unfortunately, in real life is a dick, but he did give us the 2012 movie The Avengers, for which we will always be grateful. Two things can be true, but obviously he made a grave error when he took on Justice League after Zack Snyder stepped down due to tragedy. Number one, Whedon cut out and condensed too much to the point where parts of the 2017 movie just didn't make sense. Watching Zack Snyder's Justice League kind of reminds you of that old commercial for television set. You know, showing you the difference between square aspect ratio and widescreen. With widescreen, you get to see more, and it adds more context. That's why Zack Snyder's Justice League gives you a better view of the story. Number two, Joss Whedon came in and tried to alter Justice League to his vision. He even applies some of his Avengers formula to it, which did not work because Zack Snyder's DC movies have a completely different tone. Look, if you start on a project from the very beginning and want to shape it to your vision, that's fine. But when you're picking up from where somebody else left off, then the least you can do is honor his vision, because it's not your project to begin with. But Whedon arrogantly broke that cardinal rule. In conclusion, I'm glad that Zack Snyder finally managed to give us the Justice League that he had always wanted to make, and I'm happy to say that it will resonate with the fans. Don't worry about the 4-hour runtime, because you will be so immersed in these characters' journeys, 4 hours won't feel a thing. Magnificent, superb, astounding. Make sure you go check out the movie event of the year, Zack Snyder's Justice League.